But this adds a twist, which is nothing, or general atheism or scientism is certainly a problem, but is spirituality just an enemy of Christianity? A thing that we have to have an apologetic for, or be prepared for? Because I think a lot of Christians at first would be happy to have any sort of religiosity or spirituality out of people, but this presents that it can be as big a problem, or maybe even bigger a problem in some ways, because Christians are willing to adopt this foreign spirituality as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, we used to get excited in the 80s and 90s when Time or Newsweek had a cover story, "The Search for the Sacred." Like, okay, finally we're getting out of the naturalistic era and entering into an era of spirituality. And sociologists and philosophers were talking about a post-secular age. We're entering a post-secular age and so forth. And I think that we are beginning to see that spirituality really is a threat to Christianity, probably more than atheism. We have spent probably 95% of our apologetics arsenal on atheism, the 4% who say they're atheists. And then when you actually look at that 4% who say they're atheists, they're actually closer to spiritual
agnostic,
but not religious. Yeah. And, they're like Sam Harris. Well,
Yeah.
I just hate the dogma. I don't believe in religious dogma, but I really believe in going into a cave for a long period of time and meditating and yada, 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 to get in touch with that other dimension. What, the other dimension you don't believe exists? What are we?
Right.
So that's really the elephant in the room, I think, is spirituality, and Christianity is against spirituality in this sense. It's against Gnosticism. I don't mean little s, but
Yeah. It's interesting. Adam and I had a discussion. Adam, don't remember if it was on the show or just on the phone call, but where we were discussing that when we were undergrads, the big fear out there, the big boogeyman out there, was postmodernism and the accompanying relativism that came with postmodernism. It's devoted just a lot of mental energy and midnight conversations to this, and everybody's consuming Gene Veith's Postmodern Times, and this is the thing that's going to destroy us, and on and on and on. And I told Adam, I'm like, I kind of pine for postmodernism a little bit. Like, right now I'm kind of pining for the good old days of relativism, because what we've actually gotten is paganism. And paganism has there's an evil to it that is just deep. And the problem becomes is that arguing with postmodernists is kind of easy, because it's not really set up as, to make a positive argument. It's all just kind of taking things down. But paganism is a positive proposition. It comes with its own sort of alternative morality, and even, classically sacrifices of innocent people and children. And you see this, making its way more and more into our culture. We don't usually do a lot of cultural shows, but we just actually did one on the opening ceremonies of the Olympics and all that kind of thing, to sort of just look at what was going on there, and why was this why did the people that put that on even feel like they needed to do that, right? Because it's a profession. Whereas, like you said, the atheist, what's the profession? There is no God. The postmodernist, what's the profession? Well, my truth is my truth, your truth is your truth. Right? It's not there's no positive creedal aspect to it. But when you get into this sort of mystic kind of pagan, it does get more positive, and it does sort of force ideas on you that are antithetical to Christianity.